What's going on, guys? Coach Chrispect, the Wise Guy. Follow me and subscribe right here on YouTube. I am headed to see a client right now, so I figured while I do a drive, I'll go live and hit up a couple of great topics and get some discussions going on here. I'm not going to be able to chat while I'm driving, but if you have any comments or questions about today's discussion, let me know in the comment section below and I'll definitely get back to you guys. And don't forget to go check out CCASH, Coach Chrispect's Amazon Selling Hustle Mentorship course and club, where I teach you how to sell on Amazon, both in the private label and in the retail arbitrage business, and how to successfully make $300 a month, $3,000 a month, $30,000 a month. So today's video, I'm gonna talk about two things. First thing I'm gonna talk about is those dreaded hijackers. And the second thing I'm gonna talk about is doing product research. Hijackers, it's fresh in my mind. I'm dealing with a couple myself. I know a few of my students are asking about hijackers and how you handle hijackers, how I handle hijackers, and then product research. I'm going to talk a little bit about the different tools that are out there, maybe what to look for with tools, and how to do it even when you don't have tools. Some of the ways that you can look at products and source products that will do well on Amazon. So we'll talk about both of those things right now. So let's get right into it. And like I said, if you have any questions, probably not going to be able to chat. You can throw them up in the chat, but throw them in the comment section below. It helps me grow, and I'll get back to you later on tonight. So for those of you who don't know what a hijacker is, what a hijacker ultimately is another seller that jumps on listings that are doing well in sales, and they send their products in under other people's listings or other sellers' listings that are private label listings. Essentially a brand you created, and you might have gone as far as to trademark the brand, registered the brand, and you should be the only seller of that brand. You've never given anybody the rights to sell under your brand or your product, but you're finding other sellers are listing their products and selling products under your brand. And a lot of times, and what's concerning for Amazon, not just with private label sellers, but a lot of times it's with big brand sellers, is that there's a lot of counterfeit going on, and Amazon is combating the counterfeit as best as they can. You know, they're doing a lot to discourage sellers from selling products if they don't go through the right avenues, like a distributor or a wholesaler, or get authorization from the brand. You know, Amazon will shut your listing down, shut you down as a seller if you infringe on, you know, their policy. So, but a lot of private label sellers, they're not really protecting themselves. They're not really protecting their brand. They just create their brand and launch it. And then when other sellers find these brands that are doing well and go, well, I can source that exact same product, I'm just going to throw it under this brand. You know, in my course, I always talk about the first step just simply being to send a cease and desist letter or a template, customize it to that seller, and email it off to that seller. Usually you can reach out to that seller. You can reach out to that seller through the message center in Amazon under the product. So you go to the product, you click on the seller, and you click on message the seller, and you send them a letter that essentially says, you know, I see that you're selling this brand. I created the brand. I have never authorized any other seller to sell this brand. If you're selling counterfeit products, Amazon doesn't take kindly to that. I request that you cease and desist selling this product and remove your inventory from Amazon and from this listing immediately, or within the next 24 hours, or I will have to take this to Amazon directly, and Amazon doesn't take kindly to counterfeit sales and unauthorized sellers under products that they shouldn't be selling under, etc. Something like that. There's a template. I'll include a link to that template in the description below. But that's essentially what you want to do. Now, you're going to run into situations most of the time, 90% of the time for me, 9 times out of 10, that one email works. It works especially well if you have Chinese sellers on your listing. They just don't want to mess with their account. So usually they vacate. I mean, I did a video. If you want to check a video, I'll throw one of those bars up here. You can click that video. But I proved that you can get rid of hijackers within an hour or two in a video. So check out the little link up here to that video. And I'll put it at the end screen at the end of this video. If you want to exactly see the letters and the templates and how it was done and the response I got from another seller, go check out those videos. But you can do it as fast. Usually they'll respond to within 2 hours. They'll be gone from your listing if you just send them that simple cease and desist. I've had questions like, oh, you know, simple questions like, you know, why can't I sell under your product, or how do I know you're the brand owner, stuff like that. And you don't have to respond to those questions. Your response should simply be, you know, again, it should be just reiterating what you reiterated the first time, what you said the first time, which is, I am the brand. I never authorized you. Remove your product. You have 24 hours, kind of thing. Again, that all works. Even if they have questions, just ignore their questions and reiterate the message. I've had this before, and I've had it again. Now I'm dealing with it again, where they ignore your cease and desist, multiple attempts for them to telling them to remove their listing. They ignore it. 2 tips. Tip number 1, when you set up your private label products, put on your auto pricer, turn it on. It's a great way to know if your product is being hacked, is being hijacked, because you will see your auto pricer lower the price of your product, which tells you that there is another seller on your listing. Okay, that's kind of the alarm clock for me. That's the alert for me to tell me that, there's a seller on my listing. I got to go deal with this guy. It also allows you to keep your, you know, sales, because once you get a hijacker, one sign of a hijacker is that you immediately stop selling the product. You'll have had, you know, however many sales you're making, 20 a day, and then it immediately goes away. The first thing you need to go check is there another seller on my listing? So if you're doing private label and you're selling your product, and all of a sudden, you know, you're averaging, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 product sales a day of your product, and then it completely disappears and you go a day without selling it, and then another day without selling it. Usually there's only 2 things. 1, you got a hijacker, or 2, Amazon has inactivated your listing for whatever reason. And we'll do that in another video. So you go and check and you see, there's another seller. Okay, if you had your auto pricer on, it would have detected that. You would have started seeing sales come in, but not at your typical price. They would have been lower by a penny or 5 cents or whatever you have your auto pricer set at. I usually recommend just set it at a penny, to always be lower by a penny, and make your minimum, you know, whatever your cost, just so that you don't lose any sales and you can deal with the situation while maintaining sales. It also affects the seller who's hijacked you, because they're not going to get any sales. They're going to have a product sitting at Amazon. Likely they'll only have a small amount of inventory. So check that as well. Do the 999 on that hijacker and check how much inventory they have. For example, I have two on two of my products. One of them has like 57 units or something like that, and the other one has like 34 units. So they didn't send a lot of inventory, which tells me they probably paid a lot more money for the inventory. But at the end of the day, it also tells me that they have some generic piece of crap on my listing that is going to affect my listing, my credibility, my reviews, and all that can be used in battling them if they don't cease and desist from selling under your listing. So let's get into that. Ceasing and desisting from selling under your listing. So you've sent them a couple letters, they're not responding. How do you deal with it? Amazon have an option for you as a private label seller where you can provide Amazon with all the evidence necessary. First step you have to do is you have to go and purchase that Hijackers product, okay? Which is fine because you can return it in 30 days too. So you'll get your money back, but go and purchase it immediately. Get that product sent to you. What you're gonna find is that that product is obviously not at all like your product. Now, hopefully your product is customized and hopefully it has the private label, it has your private label logo and branding on the product. Hopefully you've done all of those steps. Hopefully you've even gone as far as to repackage the product and do your own branded packaging. Hopefully you've gone as far as to do your own brand inserts and instruction manuals, all that stuff. You can even go as far, let's say you didn't trademark your product. You can even go as far as to like start your Shopify store and brand it through other platforms just to prove that you own the brand and the product. Those things play a huge part, and then ultimately trade or doing brand registry with Amazon, especially with your best sellers. I would impress upon you to brand register your product, trademark your product, and all that good stuff. Okay, but let's say you didn't, and all you have is a branded product and the packaging of your product, and essentially you have 500 reviews or 100 reviews or 50 reviews. Okay, order the other person's product, the hijacker, get that product delivered to you, take photos of that product and the condition that it came in, okay, and then take photos of your product and what it's supposed to look like. And then Amazon have a link where you as a seller can upload your claim against the other seller, essentially throwing an IP claim against them, a restriction against them. That's what you want to do. I'll put that link here so that you guys can locate that claim if you ever run into this situation. And once you get there, as long as you provide all the information that Amazon requests, then it usually is the other 10% that you need to do, and you're at 100%. I mean, 99% of the time, that's the most effective way to get rid of hijackers. The second part just takes a little longer because you have to get their product. So a couple of days if you have Prime, get some photos, get photos of your product, and then get those images to Amazon. And also, sometimes you want to give the seller, 24 hours and then give them a final notice, a second message. Some do third, I don't do a third. If they don't disappear by the second one, so 48 hours later, I already start the process. So usually within a week of me figuring out that there's a hijacker on my listing, I get them off with, if I have to go there. It's definitely worse off on the sellers who are jumping on listings trying to sell knockoffs under other listings. Okay, they're selling knockoffs under your listing. Even if it's a similar product, even if it is the same product, it still is not the brand of product. It wasn't developed like you developed your product. It still isn't the experience the customers expects when they receive your product versus that product. And you got to prove that experience. Amazon, when they receive my product, they're getting a highly a professional packaging. They're getting a professional instruction manual. They are receiving support from us. So all those types of things you can use in your response to Amazon, versus when they get that product, they're not going to get the same experience. And those are things, obviously, customer comes first in the Amazon world. So hope that makes sense. Again, if you have questions about that, or if you're going through that, Hijackers, and you're just like, man, I'm losing money, losing hundreds of dollars a day, or $100 a week, or whatever, or thousands a month, deal with it. Do your research, check out other videos about it. You need to be experienced in how to deal with it. It's going to happen to you more than once. It happens to all sellers. It's nothing new. People just don't know right from wrong. A lot of times the letters should explain that this is wrong, and they shouldn't be jumping on people's listings that they're not authorized to sell under. And you should explain that in there. You should also give them steps on how they can get, remove their product and, create their own listings, that kind of thing. That can help as well. I don't do that, but I was thinking about adding those steps to some of the people that are just dumb and they don't know that they're supposed to create their own listing and do it that way. Yes, so the next thing I want to chat about is private label products. Again, it's the war cry right now. It's what my club is focused on. They're focused on launching their own products. So why not lead with, what they're gonna have to deal with, but the benefit of launching your own products is obviously all the passive income you can make, the money that you can make selling your own brand on Amazon, your own private label brands on Amazon, is truly a completely different beast than selling, retail arbitrage or online arbitrage or other people's brands on Amazon. And it's a lot easier to just simply source your product from one factory, manufacturer in China, have that product shipped direct to Amazon, and start seeing dividends right away, and just start working on the quality of your listing. Listing quality is huge when you're doing private label. How good can you make your listing? How impressive is your listing? How impressive and how attractive are your photos? How effective are your bullet points in selling your product to the customer? How effective is your title in getting people to look at your product and getting viewers on your product, and ultimately ranking your product on page 1? Private label is by far the best way to make money selling on Amazon. Now, it's difficult, and what we're going to talk about in this second half of this video is it is difficult. It's not easy to find the right product. 100% of the time, it's about getting the right product. And I think a lot of people are deterred by how hard it is to find a product that they feel confident in putting up as much upfront capital you'll need in that product and launching that product. If you work in retail, if you understand sales, then you'll understand if you have a hot product, a product that people want to buy, and a product that has a long shelf life, meaning it's going to be great today and it's going to be great 3, 4, 5 years from today, that one same product can last you for a long period of time. So that's usually the hunt. Go check out, a lot of my videos. I talk about private label. A lot of the times you can just go back and see them, but we'll talk about the different tools that are out there. We'll talk about Canada versus the US and some of the tricks I use, because not all the tools, especially if they're US based tools, Viral Launch, Jungle Scout, those are the two most popular product research tools on the market. They are US based. Their metrics are US based. They do metrics in the Canadian market. They do the metrics for most markets. I think Jungle Scout has 8, China, they do Australia, Britain, Germany. I mean, they cover the globe. India, I believe, is in there. A few other countries. Same with Viral Launch. Same with other products as well. Research tools. But ultimately, if it's not showing you the information you need, how do you know? How do you know that the tool is accurate? All those type of things, especially play a part if you're not using a tool that is, based on the country that you're in, whether you're in US or Canada. So using those tools, I mean, a lot of experienced sellers will want you to look at the accuracy of the tool. That's going to be the most important thing. So whatever one you end up wanting to buy, just do your research and check on how accurate the research tool is. And the accuracy that you're looking at is, you want it to be accurate for, is it showing me the right amount of sales per seller? Because what the tool does is it shows you a drop down list. When you jump on a page on Amazon and you're searching a certain niche of product, I'll use what I always use, which is stability balls or fitness balls or exercise balls. If you type in the word exercise ball, does the tool show you accurate numbers for each and every seller? Because what the tool is supposed to do is, if I type in exercise ball in the search bar, Amazon will bring up 20 to 30 sellers selling exercise balls on Amazon. It'll be in list format going straight down the page. Okay, the number one spot will be the number one seller on that page, and so forth and so on. Actually, the first couple spots are sponsored listings, like people pay for those spots. And then the third or fourth spot, all the way down, with the exception of a couple in the middle, are organic listings. Those are organic spots that people will fall in based on how good their selection of those two things, how popular the product is, the demand, and all that type of stuff. So if a product is on page 1, then there generally are sales. And that's the information you're trying to find out. You're trying to find out exactly how much sales these guys are making because they're on page 1. That's the tool's job. And as a private label seller, that can be the difference between you failing in the business and you making $30,000 a month, because you're succeeding in finding right products, and you're able to launch one, make 3,000, and go, okay, I can duplicate this. I'm going to launch another. Okay, great. I made another 3,000 every month, reoccurring. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this and launch another, launch another, launch another. Now you have 5 products that you found and spent time doing research on, trying to ensure that you have accurate numbers based on the metrics you want to support yourself with, the numbers that you want to know that the demand is there for that product, and you're having success. And now you have 5 products that are all doing $3,000 a month, and now you're making $15,000 a month. That's how it should go. Okay, it goes that way because you're using the tools that are accurate in your country, accurate in your state or province. And that's going to be the most important thing when you're shopping for a tool to use to sell on Amazon. Okay, so that's really what I wanted to talk to you about, is not to promote any tool in specific. I want you to look at them all. In fact, I think I did a video, I honestly can't remember, but I think I did a video talking about the top 5 or 10 product research tools. If I did, I'll go search for it. I'll link it in either the end credits, or I'll put a banner up here, and you guys can check that video out, just to give you 10 different choices. But the research you need to do is, you need to ask those companies, message them and go, how accurate are your results? How accurate are your results? How can you prove the accuracy? Because some tools that I've used, and I've switched tools and switched back and run consecutive tools at the same time, is I'm not always getting the accuracy I want. And when I don't get the accuracy I want, I take the now I have to throw both in the garbage and essentially not use them because they're no good to me. And now with my experience, I take product research into my own hands and do it the old way, which before these tools ever existed, that collected all the metrics into one spot. I now have to do it manually, which takes a lot more time. So yesterday I had to go back to a manual way of doing product research. And funny enough, I did it manually and actually found more products than I did using Jungle Scout. So I'll pick on Jungle Scout for a second. Jungle Scout was not giving me accuracy yesterday, and it was really frustrating. Sorry, Jungle Scout, because I love you guys, and I know you just followed me on Instagram. Thank you for following me. Appreciate that. But just when that happens, it really is irritating that you pay money for a product and its accuracy, I don't know if, I know the company's growing. I don't know how many staff they have managing the everyday metrics that they have to upload. But at the end of the day, when you're paying $50 US every month or whatever it is, $30, $40, $50 every month, you expect that product to be on it in its best, at its best. And yesterday it wasn't, and I'm not doing research every day right now. I'm doing research like once a week. So if next week it's not having accuracy again, why have the product? Why? So I'll be reaching out to Jungle Scout. I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna reach out to them and I'm gonna have a conversation with them, and hopefully I can get past just their basic level support and get to some upper level support, maybe a manager or something like that. But I need to be clear in the quality of the measurements in the Canadian market, because if I'm a huge promoter of the product, everybody obviously jumps on my course, knows that that's one of the products I promote that you should have. It's one of the tools that you need. Now, I don't care if you go with Jungle Scout or you go with Viral Launch or you go with any other product research tool. You do need the tool, and you need the different types of tools. You need the tool that will help you find products, and you need the tool that will help you measure the demand, measure the volume of sales. Okay, I was using their Chrome extension yesterday, which helps you measure the volume of sales. And I was doing it manually as far as my research, because I wasn't getting anywhere with the Jungle Scout tool. So I was doing manual research. And by doing it manually, which to me is searching niches, piggybacking what I see, jumping on Amazon. So let me go back. I'll give you some tips on how I do manual research. For me, I do it a couple ways, or I do it 3 ways. The first way I do it is I use Amazon's dashboard page, their main page or their home page, and I look at today's deals and I look at what they're promoting, okay? And then I'll go inside of those promotions, for example, today's deals or lightning deals, or what other sellers are trying to promote. Maybe they're trying to blow out or liquidate inventory, or perhaps they're trying to start new inventory. What's going on, Durbo? Good to see you on here. Maybe they're trying to start new inventory. Okay, and new sellers, obviously, if they're trying to start new inventory, they're going to be launching it at lower prices. So I want to take a look at what other sellers are selling, and I want to create a list of those products, manually writing them down, the products and the niches, okay, in lightning deals and today's deals. That's the first strategy I use, okay, and that usually allows me to go inside of those niches, and then I will use the tool to see if there's metrics. If it's not showing me anything, then I will use the page 1 concept as, okay, who's on page 1, and I will look at their reviews, and I will multiply the reviews by 10 or 20. I'll kind of see, like for example, yesterday I Googled how many sales does it take to get 1 review. Okay, so I won't tell you the answer, but go Google that and then read some of the, the different links that pop up. How many sales on Amazon does it take to get 1 review? and you'll ultimately get the number. So then you can take that number, whether it's 10 or it's 50, and you can take 50 divided times that by how many reviews they got, and kind of get a sense of how much sales they have. Now, that's not going to be accurate, but it's going to give you a little more confidence in the product. Okay, if the tool is showing you nothing, but the person has 200 reviews or 150 reviews, then you know they're selling the product. Okay, you can also do the 999 trick, which is the second strategy I use. I did a video on that, so go check out that video. But it's where you check what inventory the seller actually has left in their inventory at Amazon, and then a day later or later on in the day, you do it again and you see how much they've sold in the day. So this is why it can take longer, but it's a manual way of doing things. So I'll show you a chart here, and I'll show you how I come up with these metrics and how I find products manually. But today's deals, lightning deals, okay, the other way I jump on is I'll do a Google search, and I did a video of this, and I'll do a Google search for top or best sellers on Amazon, hot best sellers, movers and shakers, and new releases. Okay, best sellers on Amazon, it'll show you the top 500. Movers and shakers on Amazon, it'll show you the top 500 in multiple categories, and new arrivals or whatever it is. I forget what the third one is, but I'll figure that out and I'll link that as well. Then I'll look in those categories, and again, I'm just now manually looking for products versus having a tool like Viral Launch or Jungle Scout show me the product. And then I am now looking inside the numbers to try to see what's on page 1. Okay, from there, the third tactic I use is I'll go on to DHgate, or I'll go on to Alibaba, or I'll go on to madeinchina.com, and I'll search the products, and I'll search how much they cost. What can I get that product for from these platforms? Okay, and a lot of times I'm just going to look and start contacting the different suppliers on these platforms and start working on what I can get the product for. I have a template for that. That's all comes with my course, of course. But I'll link, if you want me to link it, a template for contacting manufacturers, just let me know. But again, just to encourage you guys, that private label is, if you do it right and you invest the time and you are dedicated to finding the right products, you can easily get to $30,000 a month profit selling private label products. Okay, and then applying the other steps into your business, like like running advertising and optimization. It's really honestly, it's just more of optimizing your list and making sure your listing is so good that it shows up on page 1. Okay, and it is, and I did a video a few days ago about the hustle, and it is about getting out there and selling your product to a few people, whether it's family members or friends or people in your downtown core, and getting out there and promoting your product. Whether you have 20 products on you and you just go and hustle, and when you sell one of them, you give them a card and you say, look, the contingency is that you go and leave a review. Marina, what's going on? Thanks for another informative video. My question may not be appropriate for this subject. One of my inventory in the shipment plan has a note to investigate Amazon. Should I continue to ship them? Yeah, message me. I'd need more information, or email me, coachchrispect@gmail.com. I just need more detail than that. I'm not sure what you mean by that. So product research manually has been really successful for me. Yesterday I killed it. I found five killer products. 2 of which have at least 7 child listings that I can list in different versions. So that was huge. All because I just ran into problems with my tool that I've had for almost 3 years now and paid every month. Amassing, that's $1,800 I spent on the tool. And I've had success with the tool. I'm not saying anything wrong about the tool. The tool has been great for me, but it has its days, man. It had its days last year, and I went off on a video. And Amazon, and Jungle Scout did come back and support their product. I don't know why their metrics go on and off. I'm like, did they fire a bunch of people and they fired their Canadian team, and are they hiring new Canadian staff? Anyway, I'm gonna talk to Jungle Scout, and I'm gonna let people know in my private club the result, if I'm gonna change from Jungle Scout, or if I'm gonna stay, or if I'm gonna switch to somebody else. But it's so bad that if the numbers can't be accurate for me, then obviously I don't want anyone spending the money. So jump on the club. It's $97. Join now. Then jump in the club to find out if I stay or switch out of Jungle Scout. And I'll let you guys in my club know, and in my course know, if I stay or switch. Obviously, if I switch, I'm going to switch all the links out and promote, obviously, who I switch to, and we'll go from there. Thanks for hanging out with me, Coach Chrispect, the Wise Guy, on YouTube. Just click that subscribe button. It's like somewhere around there. And check out those links to some of the other videos that I talked about in this video. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you later on tonight. Peace.